For generations, the states of Han and Wei believed their combined strength and natural fortifications offered impregnable security against the surging power of Qin. They were profoundly mistaken. In 293 BCE, at a crucial mountain pass named Yique, a single, devastating tactical miscalculation would unravel their joint defenses, rendering hundreds of thousands of their forces ineffective, and irrevocably altering ancient China's future in a single, decisive afternoon. Welcome back to the History Atlas. Today, we dissect the Battle of Yique, a pivotal engagement where strategic genius confronted defensive rigidity, dramatically reshaping the balance of power across the warring states. The era spanning from 475 to 221 BCE, known as the Warring States period, was a time of relentless ambition and conflict across ancient China. 7 dominant states vied for supremacy, their borders fluid, their allegiances temporary. To the west, the state of Qin, forged by stringent legalist reforms and disciplined administration, emerged as a potent force. Its singular objective was unification, a goal it pursued with methodical, often ruthless, military expansion. Facing this advancing Qin power in the fertile central plains were the states of Han and Wei. Once powerful, they now found themselves increasingly pressed by Qin's westward incursions. Their survival depended on shared defense, a precarious balance against a formidable aggressor. The Yique Pass, a rugged mountainous choke point strategically south of the venerable Zhou capital, Luoyang, became their vital bastion. This natural barrier represented more than just terrain. It was the physical manifestation of their resistance, a final line against Qin's inexorable advance into their heartland. Years of previous Qin campaigns had already demonstrated a clear pattern of aggression, systematically absorbing their peripheral territories, making the defense of Yique a matter of existential importance. Leading the Qin forces was General Bai Qi, a commander whose name already resonated with strategic genius and an unparalleled record of success. He was known for innovative tactics, bold maneuvers, and an efficiency that made his campaigns remarkably effective. Under his command, the Qin army was a force characterized by rigorous training, central command, ample supply, and unflinching discipline. This formidable military machine, estimated between 100,000 and 150,000 soldiers, was adaptable, capable of executing complex formations, and singularly focused on Qin's expansionist objectives. Opposing this concentrated might stood the combined forces of Han and Wei, under the leadership of General Gongsun Xi of Wei. A respected commander, Gongsun Xi nonetheless carried the burden of coordinating 2 distinct armies against a singularly focused adversary. The Allied forces potentially mustered between 200,000 and 240,000 soldiers, a clear numerical advantage on paper. However, an alliance of 2 sovereign states faced inherent challenges: the complexities of unified command, varied training levels across disparate units, and the potential for friction in coordination. Yique would prove a stark lesson. Sheer numbers alone could not compensate for strategic cohesion and singular purpose against an opponent of Bai Qi's caliber. The Allied forces of Han and Wei, commanded by General Gongsun Xi, had chosen Yique Pass as their bulwark. This formidable natural barrier, with its rugged terrain and strategic elevation, presented an imposing challenge to any invading force. The combined strength of their armies, numbering over 200,000, fortified these positions, expecting to repel any frontal assault by Qin. Their objective was clear: hold the pass, wear down the Qin advance, and prevent its penetration into the fertile central plains, thereby preserving their precarious autonomy. For General Bai Qi and the Qin army, this presented a considerable strategic impasse. A direct, costly assault on such a heavily entrenched and numerically superior foe would defy Qin's principles of efficient conquest and tactical innovation. Bai Qi, a commander renowned for his audacious and often unconventional strategies, understood that brute force alone would lead to attrition, not decisive victory. His objective was not merely to break through Yique's defenses but to shatter the Han-Wei alliance decisively and secure profound territorial advantage. This mandated a different approach, one rooted in maneuver, deception, and the exploitation of any latent weaknesses within the Allied command or disposition. The question was not if Bai Qi would overcome this stronghold, but how he would dismantle a defense perceived as impregnable. Upon their arrival at the Yique Pass, the Qin forces found the allied Han and Wei armies positioned defensively, leveraging the natural strength of the terrain. General Bai Qi, known for his refusal to engage in predictable, costly assaults, initiated a complex and deceptive maneuver. he detached a sizable contingent of his troops, positioning him directly before the Allied lines. These forces commenced a series of engagements, simulating a full-scale frontal assault designed to breach the formidable pass. Their primary objective was clear: to fix the attention of General Gongsun Xi and the Allied commanders, drawing resources and committing their attention to this perceived main threat. Meanwhile, the greater portion of the Qin army, under Bai Qi's personal command, began a demanding and meticulously concealed march. They moved with disciplined precision through the region's rugged, treacherous mountain paths, utilizing unseen routes to bypass the primary Allied fortifications. This arduous journey through difficult terrain demanded unwavering discipline from every Qin soldier to ensure absolute stealth and prevent any detection. As the feint continued to occupy the Allied command, the true strategic repositioning of Qin's power unfolded in silence, poised to strike from a direction Gongsun Xi had not anticipated. The decisive moment at Yique materialized not through frontal clash but through calculated deception and arduous maneuver. Bai Qi's masterstroke culminated as the main Qin force, having successfully completed its arduous, concealed march, emerged on the flank of the Wei army. This was not merely an outflanking, it was a targeted isolation, effectively severing the Wei forces from their Han allies and denying any possibility of mutual support. The Han and Wei command, under Gongsun Xi, demonstrated a critical strategic oversight. Their focus remained fixed on the perceived threat of the Qin feint, drawing resources and attention to the front. They failed to anticipate such a complex and audacious flanking operation, nor could they redeploy their substantial forces effectively once the true danger became apparent. The Allied command structure, inherently less unified than Qin's singular leadership, proved too rigid, too slow to adapt to the fluid battlefield dynamics. Their reliance on strong defensive positions became their undoing against an opponent who refused to engage on their terms. The turning point occurred with the sudden, overwhelming engagement of the Wei flank by Bai Qi's primary force. The shock of this unexpected assault sent immediate ripples of disorganization through the Wei formations. Their defensive lines, engineered for a frontal confrontation, disintegrated under pressure from an entirely unforeseen direction. This immediate collapse of cohesion prevented any coordinated counteraction, rapidly exposing the Han forces to a perilous encirclement. Bai Qi's audacious plan, executed with unwavering precision by his forces, represented a strategic triumph of maneuver over static defense. Gongsun Xi's insufficient defensive focus proved incapable of responding to such innovative aggression. One decisive move had unraveled the entire Allied defensive plan. With their flanks suddenly exposed and their vital connection to the Han forces severed, the Wei army's cohesion rapidly disintegrated. Struck from an unexpected direction, their organized lines dissolved under the focused pressure of Bai Qi's main force. The carefully constructed Allied defenses were now unraveling from within. Witnessing this swift collapse, the Han army commanders recognized their critically exposed position. An urgent strategic withdrawal proved futile. Their routes were compromised, and their formations fractured by the disciplined Qin advance, which pressed its advantage with unwavering precision. The Qin forces, maintaining exemplary discipline, did not merely pursue a disorganized foe. Their operation transcended victory. It became a comprehensive strategic containment, ensuring the complete disorganization and neutralization of the Allied forces. The immense numbers of Han and Wei, though initially superior, were now rendered utterly ineffective, overwhelmed by Bai Qi's tactical brilliance and the relentless follow-through of his army. The immediate aftermath of Yique was profound. The Allied forces of Han and Wei suffered an unprecedented strategic catastrophe. Approximately 240,000 soldiers, historical accounts confirm, were either captured or rendered wholly ineffective, their military capacity neutralized. General Gongsun Xi's command structure simply ceased to exist as a cohesive entity. Qin, through this decisive victory, secured the critical Yique Pass and gained substantial territories previously controlled by Han and Wei. This singular engagement fundamentally altered the balance of power. The states of Han and Wei were left drastically weakened, strategically exposed, and far more susceptible to future Qin advancements. Yique stood as a monumental strategic achievement for Qin, solidifying its dominant position and accelerating its relentless pursuit of unification. The Battle of Yique stands as a definitive turning point in the Warring States period. Its impact resonated through history. For General Bai Qi, Yique cemented his formidable reputation. He emerged as one of the 4 great generals of the warring states, a master of innovative military strategy whose methods defied conventional expectations. This engagement showcased Qin's profound military superiority, not merely in raw force, but in its sophisticated strategic thinking and meticulous logistical execution. Yique demonstrated Qin's capacity to outmaneuver and outthink its adversaries on a grand scale. The devastating neutralization of Han and Wei's combined forces critically weakened these central states. It irrevocably paved the way for Qin's continued territorial expansion and ultimately, its ambitious goal of unifying all of China under a single banner. In military history, Yique remains a crucial case study. It illustrates the profound effectiveness of tactical deception, intricate flanking maneuvers, and the ruthless exploitation of weaknesses inherent within complex allied command structures. The fragility of a combined defense, when confronted by singular genius, was starkly revealed. The Battle of Yique wasn't just a military engagement, it was a blueprint for an empire. If this deep dive into ancient strategy captured your imagination, be sure to subscribe to the History Atlas to relive these heroic pages of history. Which other ancient battles do you believe featured the most cunning tactical brilliance? Let us know in the comments below.
Did you enjoy the journey through history? Join us again. Like, share, and subscribe to the History Atlas.